Hi, I'm sorry. I know many of you all are probably on the other one. So I will wait until you find out that I'm on the other side. I don't know what it is. I set it up on this one, and then it just don't on this one. I'll give you some time to discover. Go around. What are you doing? Hello, who is this? Okay, I say I just see 1, 2. Hello, good morning. Not showing my chats. They say welcome to live chat and remember. Okay, you all can you hear me? I just see people popping in, but nobody's saying nothing. Hello. No chatting. No nothing. Okay. This is frozen too. Okay, what's happening? Oh, okay. Okie dokie, we'll get ready in a couple. I was trying to do this, but I can't. I wanted to be able to show my presentation to you all while I'm talking, but it just got finished downloading, and I don't want to really kind of experiment doing this at the same time. So I'll wait until we get our number 20. Let's see, I'll do that in back of it. Yeah. Until we get our number 22. Hope everybody is doing okay. Hi, hey! I got you down as moderator. Did you see that? Just in case Jupiter 1111 couldn't make it. Hi, hey, blissfully intuitive. Oh, I love that. Have you been following me on my chat, on my bliss challenge, blissfully? That would be most up your alley. The bliss challenge, what we're doing for the next 3 to 5 days, which is it was 3 days. I did that. Spirit said rest, and then start the challenge all over again, like Sunday. So I'm gonna do a 5-day challenge of doing everything, finding your bliss, and then we'll stop, and then we'll do 21 days. I shopped yesterday too. Oh, okay, good, great. Okay, I'm trying to see. Let me put my Googles on. Yeah, you need to know this. Get your bliss on. Here, Missy Elliott, she got the new thing. Get your freak on. So get your bliss on. Get your bliss on. Get your bliss on. So we done edited. So get your bliss on. Gonna wait just a little while because maybe some of them might be on that old time. I had did 1120 because of Jupiter 11. Yeah, so she's yeah. You on here, Jupiter? Hey, Rocky, you on here? Mom asked about you this morning. Okay. Yeah, she asked about you this morning, so she picked you up in spirit. Okay, yeah, she asked about you. Hey, Desiree. Hey. Yeah, she asked about you. When she asks about you, that's an alarming thing. It's like she's really concerned something. Oh, you in Vegas. All right now. Hey, that's bliss. Can you come and get me? Can you come? Can you? I'm not for real. You think I'm joking? Well, I'm for real. Can you come get me? Can you come and get me? Yeah, some of them might be on that old time. And some about this inner child thing, I could tell. We kind of, the struggle is real. Yeah, yes, come. Okay, all right then. Inbox me the address. I might be dropping by. Take me some Southwest Airlines. Get that. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, but this is a good one. I got a lot of aha moments. A lot of aha moments from this one. for this one too. So I'm really excited about getting this going with this one. Let's go on to view. I'm gonna give it a little bit more minutes because I think, and like I said, some of us on that old time. If not, who's here is here, and we will get started. I'll play from the beginning. And then I'll talk about that too. Ooh, I can see. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, I am offering it as a package this time. I'll talk about that in my little presentation as well too. Oh, it's finished. It's too. I got y'all on there. I don't really want to kind of split to go to another screen. I'll experiment with this next time, and then we'll be able to see the actual presentation on there. Yeah. What you talking about? That means the emoji. I see the glasses. I see it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, I can turn the screen around. You about to get your food together, and I'll be back. Hope I don't miss much. Oh, okay. All righty. Okay, let me kind of squeeze this over this way. Oh, if I can. Yes, we on the move. Okay. Get my nose together in my water. Okay. All righty. Okay, we gonna get started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Okay, I knew this was gonna happen. Let me stack you up this way, because I got an order here. I don't want to mess that up. Let's see. I could just put you. Do you stay right here? No. Okay, put you right here, and then I'll remember. Okay. All right. Woo-hoo. I am situated. Let's get started with this, because like I say, it's the topic, and the rest of them will join in as well. Okay, excuse me if I had my hand kind of going across too as well, because I seen last time. I said, yeah, you seen a lot of my talking. My hand was doing everything in the last one. I say, watch it. So today what we're going to do is this is the first of our 5-part series in healing the inner child, which is saying topic 1, which is healing. Topic 1 was is exploitation. Come on. You freezing, and why? Why you freezing? Okay, we're not gonna do this today. Okie dokie. What's wrong with you? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Something was going on. It's running through some kind of program. Okay, probably the other one. Okay, so the inner child quote: "A grown-up is a child with layers on." And this quote comes from Woody Harrelson, which is true. We still have that inner child. I love this picture that I have here. It's frozen again. Look like you're frozen. No, you're not. Okay. Oh, you're not. Okay, that's me. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, so inner child quote. We'll be all right. I like this picture here, maybe because I touched the screen. I like this picture here is because it shows that even no matter how grown we are, we still have the inner child, which is inside of us at all times. Some housekeeping. This is a safe space. Keep questions limited to the topic of the day. Your lovely moderator of today is Jupiter 1111, Phoebe Nix. She's also moderator. I think I had brown sugar just in case anything happens, and I had one more. I was trying to look for Apache Wolf, but I couldn't find your thing, because I know I look at whoever's the most that talks the most, and I wanted to put Tina the teacher, but I couldn't find the link to you all as moderators as well. But those that I've seen as present, you all are moderators. Keep questions limited to the topic of the day. Please share and talk in the Sunshine Lounge with each other. Let's keep the energy flowing and uplift one another. The online workbook I have here, because my manager, Jupiter 11, told me, she's like, your PowerPoint is your workbook. I like, oh, so I said, this workbook, after the presentation, I go back through it and I kind of do some edits. This will be automatically ready to be downloadable at Divine Unisouls 11.co for $11.11. I mean $11.11 automatically. So what I'm going to do is, after the whole package, I say healing the inner child package, which is going to contain all 5 sessions along with an activity book and meditations, will be available for $33 until November the 29th. And afterwards it's going to be $60, because you're getting all of those together, plus the workbook, the activity book, and plus some meditations that I'm gonna put in there as well. So it'll be up there. So if I was you, I get in on the level $33, you know, and once I have it, it's automatically downloadable. You don't have to wait on me for me to download it for you. So once the whole series is finished with and I put my edits in there, I will definitely put it into the store on Divine Unisouls 11.co. Okay, is there anything else I want to talk about? No. Just remember that while I'm doing this, I will do a reading afterwards. So we're going to go through the courses and the information that you need. If I was you, I'd get a notebook out, take you some notes. Yes, I'm in teacher mode, so you can kind of remember, like, what she said, that was good. You know, this is something I want to work with throughout the week. The purpose of the series is I'm just only doing this a month. It's not going to be every Saturday to Saturday like it was last time. So the schedule goes as follows. So August the 24th, we're going to cover exploitation. September the 7th, we're going to handle abandonment issues, healing the inner child. October the 5th, we're going to do attack and the judgment as far as inner child issues. November the 2nd, we're going to handle domination and guilt. And December the 7th is rejection. This will all lead us up and get prepared and ready for the year 2020, which is us having the vision, the new things, so we don't have these same issues that we're dealing with inner child. We'll have the tools, we have the resource, we have the key, which you get here. Keep energizing yourself into union. You'll get that here. Okay, so this is something that we got to really kind of work on. And if you've seen the other day's week forecast where it's saying for us as divine feminines, we have to concentrate next week on this next coming week, which is on ourselves. So now, what is the inner child? What is the inner child? So what is the inner child that everyone's talking about? How can you have a child inside of you when you're a grown adult? Does it mean that you haven't grown up? Before you can do inner child work, you need to understand clearly what your inner child is. So the definition of the inner child is, according to the Cambridge Dictionary, is like this. Your inner child is the part of your personality that still reacts and feels like a child. That was poignant for me. And a lot of times I start throwing a tantrum. He ain't called today. Oh my God, I ain't gonna talk to him no more. That's inner child. That's not no 46-year-old or 47-year-old responding as the mature card that it has in the kipper. They're sitting there with their hands folded and the eyebrow raised. Most time, mature woman doesn't say anything. I know, like my mom, she's like, I just saying things in my head. I calculated, but I'm not doing a lot of reacting. I'm doing responding, thinking about how can I respond. That's how you know when the inner child has taken over. Excuse me. My dad in spirit told me, say, why you don't get no wireless mouse? I was like, okay, I'm lazy. You know, I'm going to work with you on that. You got to get the wireless mouse. Then you stop crossing in front of people. Okay, so excuse me. Why do we need to heal the inner child? It is through healing our inner children that we can save our planet and evolve into a society that does meet the essential needs of its members. So us as divine twins or divine unisouls, our major thing here is as light workers is to do the work, is to change the world so we can go about learning how to express and be loved in a different way that we have learned already. We got to go back to our sovereignty, which is like we said before in the presentation I talked about, bring high love, how we got to go back to a clean slate like a child where we didn't have all these layers of extra things laid on top of us. So the inner child is not some fad or pop psychology. Inner child healing is the only way to empower ourselves to stop living life in reaction to the past. Okay? So this is why we need to do the work. I feel a lot of times when I kind of sense and I tap into it, my empathic self, into the community and some of my scribes that I have, it's a lot of push and pull, not just with the divine masculine and between the divine feminine, but it's a lot of push and pull, period, as far as you all being sold to understand that we have to do these inner child works, okay? Not only for, and I said that in one of my videos, and we'll see as I was doing this, I was getting a lot of aha moments because I was seeing a lot of some of this stuff is, I said, not just me that's got to do the work, but a lot of this stuff I'm seeing was a lot of patterns I see in my divine masculine. So even if you're a person that's in denial, you should be saying, I'm coming here just to find out about what's wrong with my divine masculine and how can I help him on my side. And that's a way if you want to do mind trick, Jedi mind trick with yourself. That's one way in which you can do it. It's like, I'm not here for myself. I'm here for my divine masculine to see how I can fix him. But really, in turn, you are really there to come fix yourself, okay? Because you'll see a reflection. As I was doing my research with this last night, I found out. I thought, oh my God, he's reflecting a lot of things with me. So what are the issues? We got to kind of go back again and understand what is the inner child. And then we're going to fast forward and get into exploitation. So we kind of like, I'm scaffolding and building it so we understand where we're going. And it's like a refresher course for my second one that I talked about, inner childhood issues. So not everyone is in touch with their inner child. That's true. You've forgotten it. You kind of go on with life, going to adulthood, you sold into it, can't be a kid no more, can't go on the playground, can't slide on the slides no more. Them days is over. If you like my mom talking, that's over with. Santa Claus is dead. I'm Santa Claus. I give you the gifts. So that was like a real traumatic thing. Like, oh my God, you know, the fantasy world is over. Now I got to grow up. You can't be a Toys R Us kid forever. So often people connect with their inner child is because they're dealing with a problem rooted in a wounded inner child. That's the only time when we start checking in. I told you that before. A lot of times, I had seen a reader one time, and she stated that we don't check in. We always check in with higher self. We check in with our guides, our angels, dragons, unicorns, or whatever, and fairies, but we forget to check into the inner child to see how do they feel. And so even if your inner child is healthy and happy, you do have a part of you that feels and reacts to life the way a child does. Just like what I said, he ain't called. Oh, no, okay, I got something for him then. You know what? I ain't going to call him back up. When he called, I'm just going to let it ring, 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 ring. Now, that sounds like, again, you going back to your kindergarten self. Where's that tit for tat, that revenge, like tag your it. Everyone does. The challenge is to know and accept and connect with the part of your personality. So, how the inner child is hurt. It shows it through a loss of a parent, of a guardian. Okay, so I'm kind of dealing with that. I'll just be honest with me. Oh, Lord, I forgot to bring down Birdie Swirty. A lot of times that happens. He probably say, what's happening? So he's like, upstairs, I'm about to almost call Mom and say, can you bring Birdie Swirty down? And so a lot of times, like when I'm dealing with this, I'm kind of finding myself like sleeping with it. I have days. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I say, well, what I'm doing is kind of consoling the inner child about the loss of my dad. Natural disasters. I have a friend that she had lost her whole family into a tornado had came and kind of like just kind of demolished the whole house, and she was the only living survivor. It killed her mom, it killed her dad, and it killed her sister, her baby sister, and so she was the only survivor there. That's traumatic with that, and she's shown a lot of times through life how that's traumatic. She kind of built up a fantasy thing, and that's her story to tell. But you know, that the thing is that I can tell a lot of things through life. She did a lot of things that pretty much showed that her inner child had not been exactly healed. Physical abuse or neglect, okay, family breakups like divorce, that kind of happens. Emotional abuse or neglect, being a victim of violence, being a refugee. Okay, so like a lot of it, you was part of, like, now as a child, that's why it's like a lot of major concern with them having the wall up, and the immigrants coming from Mexico trying to come over, and they're putting them in those kind of concentration camps. I don't care how they try to nicely put it, that's what they are. Those children, you're going to have to watch them, because the inner child is that. Especially, I think about that young lady that was all on Facebook, and I think they had it on the news, where she went home. It was the first day of school, probably knowing her family. They were so happy, they're sending her to school. And then when she came home, because they had busted, the ICE had busted the chicken plant from all illegal immigrants that were here, she came home to an empty house. Nobody was there. So, people at the shelter had to kind of help raise, kick in, and things like that. Now, you picture her when she gets up younger. That's an inner child issue in a womb that has been placed there. For that. Sexual abuse, substance abuse in the household. Like, I think about my sister, her mom did a lot of alcohol usage and stuff, and how that traumatized her, and that's why she had to feed me. That's another reason why she had, you seen the Feed Me Seymour video, that's where that comes from as well. So it's not like it's all entirely her doing it. Just came up and said, I'm gonna be this way. It's because of also her environment and how she grew up, feeling isolated from their family. Again, serious illness, domestic violence in the household, severe bullying, mental illnesses of a family member. Okay, so yeah, that would be for her, my sister. She would get that twofold, because her mom looked like she suffered from schizophrenia. Okay, so how does it show up in our lives? The most common effects of having a hurt inner child can all be classified as destructive behaviors. They include self-sabotaging, self-defeating behavior, self-harming behavior, passive-aggressive behavior, violent behavior. So all of them is pretty much self-explanatory. We know passive-aggressive behavior is like they do something, and they don't kind of push back. It's like, okay, I called this. That's passive-aggressive behavior. When you say he called, he didn't call me back. Like, say, okay, like when he called, I'm just gonna let it ring. Okay, that's passive-aggressive behavior. Okay, and violent behavior. The effects of the damage. So the damaged child is impulsive, sometimes narcissistic, dependent, needy, and afraid of being abandoned. A lot of times we always are trying to say that the narcissism comes up in the divine masculine. That's why I'm saying a lot of times when we're looking at this damaged child, we look at the divine masculine, which is our mirror. We're easy to be able to see somebody else's problems than we are to see our own. We kind of seeing how some of those things are being reflected in our divine counterpart. They haven't learned to regulate their emotions or act from logic and reason. Such a child is likely to act out. And a damaged inner child is no different. However, healing the inner child can eliminate these feelings and behaviors even in adulthood. That is why you'll find yourself now. This is why we're at the point that we're learning how to re-raise, reparent ourselves. That's the term, what we're doing with now. We're learning now with these techniques that we're doing for the next 5 months, is learning how to reparent ourselves. Okay. So how does it affect our relationships? Okay, so minor trauma is common in, what was that? Oh, that's a shadow? Oh, Lord, I thought I seen something fly. Anyway, minor trauma is common in childhood. So even the healthiest childhood doesn't include needing to do inner child work at some point. And I talked about that when I talked about inner child. You said, oh, my wife was fabulous. It was fabulous, I didn't have no issues, but guess what? It might not have came from your parents. It could be like growing up in school. I told you all the scenario, and I use it again for this one. You in kindergarten, they playing it, and you're never picked to be the person who does it, the tags, or you the person they do duck duck goose, and everybody else then got hit on the head except, or got a pat on the head except but you. Or when they played what's the game that like captains. Okay, I could think about that. Like when I was in gym, they ain't never picked me. I didn't care, because number one, the gym was my forte. I like dance, and so I would be like the last one that would be picked, because there's like, okay, for to be on my team, I like that. Like I said, that's not my thing. But again, I can kind of keep on giving you the programming subconsciously that you're not good enough. Nobody wants you. You don't have anything to offer, things of that nature. So if you experience a major trauma, however, the results from you into adulthood, further, if no one helps you heal when you're still a child, serious effects are likely to plague you until you heal your inner child. So this is why we got to do some reparenting. So, can't see that one. All right. So, how to fix your inner child? You can't fix your inner child. I'm going to say this again. You can't fix your inner child. I'm going to say this again. You can't fix your inner child. Once the damage is done, sorry to give you that news, it's done. It becomes a part of your history, if nothing else. But for most people, it changes the way they feel, think, and behave from then on. Although you can't fix the inner child, but what can you do, class? You can heal it. So when you've accomplished that, scars begin to fade and become lighter, okay? So if you get like the gem package from Sophia, that was done by Sophia Charles, she talks about how you go back and you rewrite history. You do use your visualization and your imagination for you to be able to go ahead and do that. That's why we call it, and that's another form of reparenting, changing it so your inner child can say, oh, next when it goes back into that file, it doesn't remember it like you're reliving it. Like I told you when we had the joint webinar with Jupiter 1111, it's important that when you go back and we did the heart chakra thing and the heart of the matter. Remember, it's important for you to go back as an observer. It's not for you to go back and to relive it and retell it and instant replay it like it's a football game and look here, this way I dropped the ball, and look this way the flag on the footfield, and or flag fell on the field, and this is where he hit me, and then all that stuff is not for you to, and then you going back and the emotions and you welling and you back at it again. Next thing you know, you find yourself on the gym package hitting the heart chakra video audio so you can reset yourself again. I listen to some 432 hertz music so it can get you realigned. It's not for you to be able to do that, okay? Why should we do the work? You might ask that. So what is the point of doing inner child work? Well, suppose a child is suffering from a wound and you do nothing to help them. How do you feel ignoring the needs of this innocent, dependent person? How would the child feel? Wouldn't it continue to suffer until the wound was healed? Inner child healing can put an end to the constant suffering of the child you once were. And that's still a part of who you are. Working with a therapist, you can do several things to reduce the suffering dramatically. You can. That's why, again, sometimes you say, no, I can do the work, but sometimes you do need to have somebody outside that can help you, such as TwinFlame Healer that does healing as well as far as looking into the inner child. I can look into you and tell you intuitively, spiritually coaching you as well as far as what they said for you to do. And spirit guides say what you need to work on and what kind of meditations and things that you need to work with, as well as far as healing the inner child. Okay, so those are some things. And then you can go on Twin Flame Community as well, Tarot, and she has on there. But I know right now, Sophia Charles said that her person, I use her word, my person, his book, David, is booked right now. And so he can't take any clients. He's got a moratorium on him until he kind of works, because he say he likes to be hands-on and work with people. And I can understand that, it takes a lot, okay, when you're working and trying to heal others. Why it doesn't help to deny the existence of your inner child? Your first task is in healing the inner child is to commit to knowing your inner child. That starts with accepting its existence. Certainly, you are free. You are a free individual. You can choose to deny that you have an inner child if you want to. Like I said, I feel that's kind of going on in some of in my little community that I have. I can see that, but this is something that's here to say. So if you refuse to think about having an inner child, though, be prepared to have a difficult time. Change your feelings and your behaviors. That's almost why a lot of times Sophia Charles is going off on you, saying, but you got to do the work. You got to do the work. You got to do the work. And you do. She's like, you ain't doing nothing but this scratching the surface. You ain't nowhere near where you think it is once you start doing the inner child, which is true. It's mind blowing. Even me getting this presentation together, I said, oh my God, I see where this is coming from. So doing inner child work, whether you do it alone or in therapy sessions, is a wonderful key to healing that child inside you to change the way you think, feel, and behave. Okay, understanding what happened to your inner child. For some, childhood pain came from easily identifiable sources. For example, if you know you were physically abused as a child, that situation probably caused many of your emotional problems as an adult. Others find it more difficult to locate the source of their suffering, yet they know it exists because they still have feelings such as unexplained anger or worthlessness that they know came from somewhere. Both kinds of people need to find the details of what hurt them as a child if they want to accomplish healing the inner child. Again, one thing that you can go pinpoint, go back to my inner child and trust issues video. If you're not familiarized that, go and take the assessment that I have there. That will kind of lead you into the right direction as to what things you need to kind of direction you need to look at and what things you need to heal as well. I got a couple of resources at the end too, but it doesn't go that deep. So common ways you feel unsafe. Okay, so some of the things I felt like when we were talking about this inner child, some of these things that you're unsafe and that makes you feel like, okay, I got to kind of heal myself, is that you were taught that it's not okay to have your own opinions. That's a form of some childhood. Go back. I was trying to get that. That was bothering me. But it's going to change. Anyway, okay, you were taught that it's not okay to have your own opinions. That's part of childhood wounds that need to be healed. You were punished when trying to speak up or act differently. Okay, that could be like guilt, really, in other words, I'm not going to do one at a time. That's another childhood issue. You were discouraged from playing or having fun. You weren't allowed to be spontaneous. You weren't allowed to show strong emotions such as anger or joy. You were shamed by your parents or family members. You were verbally criticized, abused on a regular basis. You were physically punished, smacked, beaten, and you were made to feel responsible for your parents and their level of happiness. And you weren't giving physical affection, hugs, kisses, and cuddles. This one here, you weren't made to feel responsible for you were made to feel responsible for your parents and their level of happiness. Leads and segues into today's topic, which is exploitation wound. Okay, so if you felt that way when I hit that, you like, yeah, they made me feel like I had to make them feel better. I think it's a famous comedian, and I always remember her, and she said how she got into comedy was that her father suffered from clinical depression, and so then a lot of times she would kind of tell jokes to kind of bring him out of that. Now, I don't know to ask that comedian to kind of go back. I don't know if it's a swimmer. I don't know if it's her or not who I'm picking up. It was some young one, comedian. And so I would kind of like to kind of go back to her and say, okay, do you feel in some ways that it was kind of like that started like an inner child wound there? Because that's a heavy responsibility. I've talked and I had talks with even my mom. Why I said this exploitation wound was important for me to address is because of I felt that a lot of times I was responsible for making her happy when mom and dad were having a lot of arguments. A lot of times she would tell me about what was going on, and I think I was pretty much bought into grown folks, as I call grown folks conversation and grown folks issues, which helped me to have not helped me, but it harmed me to have a miscued or a messed up view about relationships and marriage. And so that's something that I got to I find myself going back to reparent and to whom, I say wound, to heal. So if you have the exploitation wound, it is because your parents used to take care of their needs used you to take care of your needs when you were a child. Your parents may have asked you to console. I'm sorry, I was writing that in fast. I said some stuff. Console them, validate them, help them with adult situations, emotions. They may have used you to take care of them instead of them taking care of you, which is what should have happened. And they may have been overly invested in your life because they were trying to live through you, and they may have demanded directly or indirectly that you perform in a certain way so they could feel good about themselves. And I was in a hurry for this. For instance, pushing you to be a star athlete or a child, a beauty queen. They might even have used you to do work around the home that they should have been taking care of themselves. And a parent may have even treated you as a confidant or a substitute spouse. I think about even as a teacher, there's I've seen two of them. I got one child that she was in my dance class, and her aunt used her to babysit all of her nieces and stuff, and she would be going around, going to go collect all of them, and then she'd bring them down to dance. And she was like, I could tell she said point is like if she had a stressful day at school, she would be taking it out on the kids, like, go sit down, sit your ass down. Then I said, hold on, wait a sec. Her nickname, I called her Africa. Africa, go, this, come on. I said, let me talk to them. And I would try to kind of intervene with them. But you could tell that, she was throwing a lot. They were throwing her sister. Yeah, was that cousin? What? Yeah, because she said, these my nieces. Had thrown a lot of responsibility on her as far as raising her kids. And so then I asked her one day, I said, you gonna have kids? She said, hell no. I'm like that. So she done programmed the baby already that she don't want to have no kids dealing with that situation. And so she's got an exploitation wound because she feel like in some ways that she done been taken advantage by her sister. Okay, so how can we heal it? As a result, one must heal one's exploitation wound so that one does not allow themselves to be exploited and afraid of future exploitation. So I go back to Africa, her situation. Yes, in a lot of ways, she feels exploited, and that's why she's like, hell no, I ain't thinking about having no damn kids. I was like, okay, you forgot you talked to the teacher, but that's all right. It's at the school, you free. Express yourself, because I can understand that. I said, I understand that. I said, don't feel bad. Maybe it might change later on, but I can understand that because she feels exploited, and she feels like if she have kids, then she might marry somebody and she be the sole responsibility or caretaker of her kids. Her husband or her partner might not be her her help her out in child rearing of her own kids. And so that would cause her to kind of like go Danger Robinson, kind of go cuckoo Cocoa Puffs, because her inner child would be saying, see, like that card that she's like the card that has the one that's laying over the getting to know each other better over, and that inner child be laying on the lap looking and scowling at her and looking back at her and saying, see, I told you we shouldn't have no damn kids. I told you this is what's gonna damn happen in the first damn place. That's why you shouldn't have no damn kids. I told you this, but you went on, didn't you? And see what's going on? So that dialogue gets to going. So most people have a problematic pattern associated with the wound, and the four possibilities are expression of the wound. This pattern is how you express the wound. Okay, so like I said again, Lord have mercy, I gotta go back through this. Yeah, you ain't gonna get this till I go back. That was fast typing. But anyway, so expression of the wound, how it is, like she said, she's snappy, she cussing, at the kids, sit your ass down, that kind of stuff. Okay, so it triggers the wound. Again, like I said, she having the kids, she seeing the baby start crying, that triggers her to go back again to say, oh my God, he go to point back to me back in elementary school when I'm picking up all my nieces and stuff, okay? Defense against the wound prevents one from feeling the pain. So maybe she might even kind of numb herself out. Maybe when her own baby start crying, you might find herself just sitting there and her husband say, what's going on? The baby's crying. You don't hear that? And she just check out, just zone out. Or she hear the baby crying and she go grab her coat and her keys. I could see this scenario going. And she just walk on out the door and just drive off. And the husband's like, what the hell? What just happened here? She, something like that, because she's triggered. Okay, so that exploitation wound has been opened up again. Protection from being wounded, the rebel pattern. Okay, so in some ways, that's again, it's like she's being defiant for no reason. She's not adhering. Maybe she's supposed to be showing up doctor's appointment for the baby. She keep on pushing it off, like, oh, not today, I'm gonna push it off to another day. Or you know, like, she might be going up there for a report card, maybe go back to the school. Now she got to come up there, and they call her and say, Miss So and So, Miss Africa, your kid is up here, you know, we need to talk to you because she's being disruptive in class. And she's like, okay. And then she just, like, she don't show up, or she show up when she want to, and you know, things like that. So she's showing defiance and the rebels thing issues in that way, because again, she's getting triggered by exploitation. Now, while I'm talking to you, I'm getting a light bulb moment on some of these parents that I'm dealing with in the classroom, and some of this might be exploitation. Who knows? Their parents might did the same thing to them, and why when I call their house, they let my my call go straight to voicemail. Who knows? They might be triggering them by the phone call, asking them, telling them about little Ray ain't sitting down in the classroom, and he being defiant and cussing everybody else out in the classroom is because of this. That just came to me. Okay, so this might be a lot of what's going on. Those are teachers that might be the same thing. So the patterns of exploitation wounds. So this is called, you got different patterns that show up. Oh, Jesus. Okay, rebel pattern, which is I may rebel against someone to keep them from exploiting me. Or you got the angry pattern. I can get angry in order to avoid feeling the pain of a wound, to protect myself from being wounded again. Or you got the judgmental pattern, which is I can become judgmental in order to avoid feeling the pain of a wound or protect myself from being wounded again. Or you got the foggy pattern. I can space out, can be confused, disassociate myself, sleepy in order to avoid feeling pain of a wound. That kind of sounds like what Dad used to kind of. Now, he didn't did towards the end. So anyway, that ain't got nothing. That's depression. So, you know, somebody might just fall asleep on you. You're like, well, I'll be damn. I'm in the middle of conversation with this sucker, and he didn't fell asleep on me. That could be exploitation wound that's showing. Okay, controlling pattern. I can become controlling in order to protect myself from being wounded. So it's like, to me, I get you. It's the Medea, Mama Medea thing. No, I get you before I get got. Okay, so before you even thinking about it, I'm gonna control the situation, so that makes sure that you don't be exploited. Now, when I read this and did this last night, I guess that's why I went all over the place with my typos. I'll get that together. I thought about my divine masculine, because although he's in the area in which he's in a leadership role, he does, and I have to kind of remind him, like, tone it down, show the softer side of Sears a little bit. He's good in that. We working on that. This is coming from some kind of way, I don't know, he don't let me in too much, but I can pick up through spirit too much, that he's got this exploitation, some kind of way in the family and his dynamics. This has been done to him. So this is why he's got over excessive controlling patterns. Sometimes I think, and I have been told by readers, he don't listen to women well because he's got this exploitation things, which probably stems back to his mother. He listens to his grandmother, but don't listen to his mom. Well, his grandmother just told me he didn't listen to her too well. In some ways he did. Okay, so now, intimacy. Avoiding patterns. I can avoid closeness in order to keep myself from being vulnerable and feeling the pain. So this, again, a lot of times we see in the divine masculine. I told we're going to throw the focus kind of on him. So, but you know that, again, what I'm talking is like a mirror. I'm really talking about you. Just me pointing at you. Okay, so then intimacy. So again, that's where we get that bearing. That's all of it. I get that as well, you know, that stuff. If I feel like I'm getting exploited, like I told you, I went to April and I give her kudos for that. She gave me that little tidbit and I ran with it when I did my energy session with her. And she told me a lot of times when you're dealing with other people, you know, you cause yourself closing yourself off to that person. But guess what? You find yourself closing off to even your person or your divine counterpart as well, because you're closing the gates. It's like back then in the day they say close the bridge, and you know, even if there's some night that's out of in charge and they say wait a second, put the bridge down, I'm coming, and he's on your side, but the bridge, once it gets drawn, is over with. That night got to stay out there and fend for himself with the other enemies that's coming, you know. So that's the same thing, just like your heart. Even though you want to keep the divine masculine in or the divine feminine in. A lot of times when we close the drawbridge or we close the gate to it, we're doing that to them as well, to our heart chakra. So that's something that you got to kind of keep in mind when you're doing that. And that's why we got to kind of deal with this, to be able to kind of like, where we put in healthy, that's why we call it healthy boundaries, healthy barriers up as well, that we still let things in that we want to. So now the big thing that we're going to kind of really target as far as we talk about exploitation, okay, doing good. Exploitation is this rebel pattern. If you had exploitation wounds, you have a rebel pattern, okay? Point blank, ain't no one without the other. It's just like you getting going McDonald's and you getting that comment. Jupiter 11, don't go out there order no daggone McDonald's again like last time when I said that. She's like, I'm gonna, excuse me, my Uber Eats is here. I'm ordering some. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I'm ordering me some food. But anyway, so if I want me a filet, go on order Jupiter 11, because that might be your bliss. So go find it. So again, you order that, when you want a combo meal, you can't say, oh, I just want the fries and the sweet tea. I don't want the filet o fish meal. And they're like, ma'am, that's why it's called combo meal. It comes all together. And you're like, okay, so if you want that, you got to order that separate. Guess what? The exploitation wound and this rebel pattern, they go hand in hand, okay? They go together like peanut butter and jelly. Ain't no separation, okay? All right, so then you tend to rebel against people in authority by resisting or fighting against what they want from you, whether it's actually bad for you or not. You tend to oppose people by being rigid and confrontational. This often leads to arguments or power struggles. You feel like people are trying to control or dominate you even when they aren't. You then get angry and defiant just for the sake of being right. The problem is you tend to believe that everyone is doing it and have a hard time distinguishing between you really need to be defiant yourself from being dominated, and when you need to, you can let it go, okay? So this is the problem you have it. Now, a lot of times, like I said, you're like, no, again, this is stuff, again, I still have this theory. I believe that some of this stuff, again, from the DM does bleed over into our side. This is why us as leaders, we got to go and take that like a ball, like it's like, I see like football. He throw the ball and he pass it to you. You got to take it off and say, I got it. I'm going to go down to make a touchdown to the end zone or wherever, to the field goal, whatever it is. And then I'm going to be able to make this touchdown for you because you didn't pass it on to me. You might not be able to. In turn, that goes back to the rainbow. It goes back to him to heal him as well. He'll start doing the work and say, okay, now when these people come talk to me, I'm not going to be so confrontational. I'm not going to be so rigid because I feel that my other side emotionally is doing the work, which causes me to do the work as well. Okay. So a lot of times I know, even when I'm looking at my divine masculine, I call him a rebel without a cause. It's like, why are you doing all this defiancy and this confrontational stuff and you don't really have to? And I know sometimes in my way, I am that way as too. When I was doing this, I said, no, let's turn the mirror on myself and let's look and see, what am I contributing? How do I show rebel too as well? So you could be the defiant. So some ways we show a rebel without a cause, as I call it, with this rebel pattern, which is the defiant one. You can also act this way through defiance. When you feel you are being intruded upon or smothered, however, you tend to see almost everyone is intentionally doing this to you. You don't just set limits when they are really necessary. You set them most of the time, and you tend to do it in an angry, self-righteous way. So, like, like get away with it too much. They keep on talking to me. They working my nerves, and so when you feel like a person wants too much attention to you, that's when you start becoming defiant, okay? Another way is you show this rebel pattern is being devil's advocate. You like to play devil's advocate. You almost automatically argue the opposite side of things, of any type of point of view anybody brings to you. It's very difficult for you to simply agree with someone else, even when you truly do inside. So you may actually enjoy engaging in arguments. You like that back and forth, that push and pull, or fighting against what you consider to be injustice. And so this is another way of you showing a defiant pattern, okay? So how can we rebel? How can rebel pattern be transformed? Okay, so some ways in which we can do that is the rebel pattern can be transformed through the cooperation capacity. So we learn how to cooperate. Okay, how to get along, how to agree to disagree. Okay, we do it that way. So another term to this is emotional rebels. Okay, so some resolutions to this is the first step is to always to recognize the tendency and consider the rebellion an act of self sabotage. Okay, so once you're that far, it's very helpful to learn how to psychologically attach and create and sustain um, to detach from that, sustain the self-sabotage. So you got to find how to kind of to kind of get a hold of that self-sabotage behavior that you're doing. So you got to shed some light on that, okay, to help heal it. So the biggest challenge for the emotional rebel is to realize that cooperation with expectations in life does not amount to defeat. So sometimes it's like, they feel, oh, if I get along with them or I say, yeah, you sure are right. It's kind of like a defeatist attitude that they're sending to themselves, like, oh, I'm weak because I'm giving in to this person's point of view. And that seems like, again, it's like, oh, okay, he'll go and never end the cycle. Now I'm letting them exploit myself again, and now I'm falling back to being victim again, which starts throwing them into that self-sabotage, and it's like a merry-go-round over and over again, like that hamster wheel. So now you're giving in when merely you're doing it, you thinking you're giving in when merely all you're doing is just cooperating. It's the self-deception nature that you have, which leads to self-sabotage in its finest. Okay, so rebel pattern can lead to why do we self-sabotage? The reason we self-sabotage ourselves is because we have unconscious fear, and any emotion that is unconscious will control our behavior. So there is a lovely opportunity to heal when this presents itself. This is to make our fear conscious, simply be noticing it there and treating it with compassion, a compassionate acceptance. Then we will be able to move through it. So instead of you fighting it or denying it or ignoring it, acknowledge it, okay? And then move on from that thing and say, okay, now let's begin the work. So common examples of sabotaging ourselves are here. They're listed. Avoiding relationships, okay? Like you could really be, because if you're in a relationship, you become vulnerable, and it's putting ourselves there that makes us become defensive. We start finding reasons why we got to move on. We start blaming them by choosing them, and we feeling that they're not capable of loving us. So then we begin to kind of what? We fear them. We start thinking we ain't enough. We start saying we're not worthy. Remember they used to say on, what was that? I could see that on, like Saturday Night Live, and I could see those two things. They're like, we're not worthy. And they will bow down. I could see them, there's two of them. Oh, God. I know somebody flashed up there what it is, but that's what I'm thinking. You just kind of that bow down. So quitting jobs or struggling with our work life, you self-sabotage that. This ain't working, I'm quitting, they ain't doing what I want to do. Because why? You probably on that job showing that rebel pattern when you get on there. Like, I ain't going to do what they doing. Heck, they might not even be quitting jobs. They might be firing your, I was about to say firing your ass, but they probably firing your behind at that too. And that's why you're struggling, okay, with that. You're struggling, as Kurt Franklin said. Okay, got confirmation about that. So not valuing ourselves enough financially, or not valuing our ability. That's the issue. So we do these things because we have fear. We are not good enough. We might fail. This same fear of failure can also create the tendency to be a perfectionist or to be controlling. Another thing is struggling with our social life or social anxiety. This usually comes up because we have a core fear we are not enough. We will be rejected. The fear can have many, I got to bring this in just a little bit, many outcomes. Can't see. Avoid of what? No, I can't see without glasses. Avoidance of connecting with people, being very defensive, pretending we don't need relationships. Now I'm cool. I don't need to go out knowing that you tired of seeing Netflix running all of you, seeing everything on Netflix, and you not going out. Being very controlling of another we fear may have us actively pushing people away by sending our barbs so we can reject them before they reject us. Okay, talked about that. In sport or art, any hobbies we may also have avoidance behaviors. So anything that we really like, for example, we avoid doing that because we got confidence issues. And then in study, we do the same. If we have fear of failure, we may just keep on putting off, like we're in school or something like that, to avoid it, or we pretend ourselves we are not interested in that thing. Nah, I don't need to go back and become this no business manager, although that's what I really want to, because I can see how I can advance and use that in the job. I don't want to do that, because I just know, I ain't about that life. Okay, so now you didn't already check yourself out, but if you want advancement on the job and you want to become a manager, you have to do those things. So now, how to heal sabotage? The answer to healing all of these is simple. Simply acknowledge the fear or the lack of confidence with loving acceptance. Then we can constantly choose to adjust our behavior. Fear will not affect our behavior negatively. If we greet it with acceptance, then have the willingness to step forward towards our fears. If we gently face our fears, we can learn not to avoid any aspect of our lives. We can truly embrace our relationships, our work life, and our hobbies or our study. Okay? So now, practice steps to heal sabotage, which is totally loving and acceptance the fear. We can spend time focusing on what we can do well, and then we can slowly step towards doing what we need to do, taking small, manageable steps and allowing your fear to kind of surface. And then if you see yourself stepping back into old patterns of avoidance, just notice it. Acknowledge the fear and move forward again. So if you fall off, you just got to get right on back up again. It helps to move forward very compassionately and gently. Steps are best. That's where you go back to the reparenting yourself, or you go back to what I call that, be that good girlfriend. Girl, that's all right, because you got that good girlfriend or the good guy friend, if there's any divine masculines on here. And then most of the time, they the most fit. No, that's all right. Come on, we're going to go get us a beer. Go talk about, look at the game, and then you go on right on back in there and get back in there. If you're a good girlfriend, like, girl, they're going to tell you about yourself, what you did right, what things you shouldn't worry about, and then they're going to brush you up off until you go get back in the game. Or if you want to go be the mother to yourself or the father to yourself, you go on, your parent has that good talk with you, let you know that they love you, they proud of you, things happen, and get you right back into the game of life, okay? All right then. So why must we do it? Many of us don't want to stop long enough to see our recurrent patterns, wanting to blame others all the time or situations rather than compassionately accepting that if something is recurring in our life, it is because of our pattern. So this is why we got to do the healing, okay? Because a lot of times, this is the opposite of what I'm talking about, is we don't want to. We want to not, we get a little bit of some changes, or we don't get any kind of changes in the pattern, and then we fall right on back into it, like, oh, forget it, that's all right, it ain't working. No. Or we want to blame others too because of the situation rather than compassionately accepting our blame. What's our part? What's the part we played in it? Or we're unwillingness to notice our uncomfortable emotions. Okay, we see it. Nah, that's all right. I don't see it over there. And that's it. Or once we acknowledge our fear, then we need to see the avoidance controlling our defensive behavior it is creating. Any behavior needs to be acknowledged with compassion. There's never value in judging ourselves. This acknowledge it and do the work. We have to learn to step towards fear and stay in that vulnerable place. Otherwise, we will cut ourselves off from the friendships, the love, the offering of our value to the world. We have to learn to greet our failures and mistakes with acceptance and simply as learning opportunities. We have to be prepared to mess it up, might mess it up real good. Learn how to kind of dust yourself off, get up and try again. We have to be prepared to be open our hearts to love, knowing we may be rejected. Just have to do that. Okay, so now, here are some resources. When you get the package, and I'll get it together, I'll try to whip it together. I'll sit down here and do it, and then I'll upload it on my thing, which is who is your inner child. This is a good assessment here where they have on this website where you can see what type of inner child you're working with, okay? Then this is also another one. I put this also in my inner child playlist because I created one for that as well. And when I'm finished with the video, I'll put that in the playlist too as well, so you can look at it. This one is called, I think, inner child issues. I don't know. Or did I call it healing inner child? I put this. I already put this. This is a video. It's got three cartoons from either the Rugrats or Hey Arnold. You look at whichever scene that this person has as far as the different scenes, and you can choose which one that's your inner child talking to you, what it wants you to know. Want you to know. Okay, I'll fix that. That's a really good one too. So it's got a good message in there. That's your inner child speaking to you, and you got to fix that. So now let's take a look at the cards. How did I do that? Ooh, right on the 60. Oh, that's bad. Let's take a look at the cards. Let's have some spirit guides, angels, and messengers look into what we are hiding, need to surrender, higher self, guides, and the universe has to say. Okay. All right. I am back. Here I am. Here I am. Here I am. Oh, Lord, I don't care about the tilt over. Don't do that. Please don't tilt over. Okay, give you all a rest break. If you got to go get your snack and use the washroom a little bit. On that one. That's my order. Okay. All right. Here I am. Here I am. Azabeth, there go my favorite student. I won't move this too much. Okay. So now, ain't like, because I'm about to go into my thing here. Oh my God. And you all shameless plug. And you all like bath, body, what is this? They need to give me money. Bath Body Works. And you like good smelling candles. This one is the bee's knees. This one is good. Listen, I love how this smells here. Let me put this over here because I don't want to set nothing on the fire. What I need. Set my candle. Okie dokie. All righty. Excuse me, you see my backside. All righty, here we go. Y'all know the thing is our lecture. You take your notes, and then we get into this here. Thank you for hanging in there with me. Okay, so now, let's get into. So, I'm going to try something a little different. I don't know how this is going to go, so your consciousness on this one. But, yeah, okay, y'all got it together. I love it. Y'all love it when y'all talk to each other. Yeah, you all get each other together. Okay, so we're going to look at, I'm going to try to go two ways. I'm going to look at the Divine Masculine because we got to look at his issues, see how we can heal him too. So, this is how he came to me. Oh, it didn't set up again? Oh, whatever. I thought I put I didn't put the donations on this one. I put it up on the other one, didn't I? Whatever. It is what it is. Okay, so now. It is what it is. Okay, clear. So I'm going to look at it and see what's happening with the past. Now, it could be past lives, things, or you could just talk about the past if you believe or not believe in that one. I do myself. You need to tell me the disclaimer because some of them might not be with that. Like, okay. However, I do believe in past lives, okay? I believe that also is another thing in which is a influencer for why we act or why we can't get into union as well. So I'll do that on my mother says that. So like that gives them a choice. You're not kind of forcing them. So maybe my exploitation is showing up for that. Okay, so now what we got here is for past lives or things of the past. Well, I'll be nice and say it that way. Where are we getting this exploitation and this thing that's running for the divine feminines? We have finances. So some kind of way, I don't know what it is showing up as far as some past things, some issues. We have finances. Now, could it be family not being able to? This is collective. This is kind of like a collective. This might hit some. It might not resonate with all. Okay, so I don't know if you came up in the household that people was kind of a little tight with the finances as a child. This is we talk about the inner child. So we're going back in the past, like when we was kids, that part. So and then also it can past lives too as well, but something about the finances. So like a abundance, where it could be abundance as far as like in love, any kind of areas that you have that is an issue. Okay, so we have also here for the divine masculine, his issue is mother issues. Now then we kind of pretty much talked about that before that one. So this is where I'm thinking about this mother issue. Is kind of, this is what's going on with the divine masculine. So just kind of work with me, y'all chime in on that. So this is what I'm picking up is this mother issue, because we got the mother card in the past. So this is where he's coming from, where he's got to heal. Okay, wars and battles. Now to me again, this goes back again with this war battle of again taking the heart from the divine masculine. I've always said this. And because they grew up, like again, from I'm saying from past lives, or just even just how society rears them, is not to come from the heart. It's always a battle. You coming like he's coming fresh off the battlefield, in which the heart is being cut off. He doesn't meet up with their emotions. He doesn't bring that a lot of times to the table. Okay. This could be stemming from past lives. If you with me in the past lives again, maybe some of them have been kind of this warrior like in every kind of life. Maybe he's touched upon that. But then also again, I'm feeling like in some ways where he was, it might have felt like it was a battlefield or war in which he is growing up to say, I'm going to always have this wall up. Okay. Thank you. Love you too. I'm going to have this wall up. Thank you, Desiree. This wall up all of the time. And that's not helping them. That's like that thing I told you, what April told me, this opening and closing of the heart chakra, how you close the door and you draw the drawbridge down. So he's not able to be able to get that love in him because of probably what's happening with this mother things. As a child, I'm going to do experience, still doing that. I hear you say, don't say experience, but we're going to see how it is. I'm going to take these cards and let this be the voice. So as your inner child, let's see. So let me start off with this. What was the divine feminine? Clear. What was what was your dialogue, inner child, back then about this finance things? What were you thinking? Let's do that. Whoa, you gotta. Whoa. Okay. Okay, when they do that, it's like the inner child. Now, don't that seem like inner child where they ain't got no coordination? Like, there you go. This is what I felt. I felt inner child issues with that. Dang. Okay. God down. No coordination. Just like a child. Like there. You know when your little baby brings you stuff. You're like, okay, here's my toy. Here's my toy. You're like, damn, you almost hit me upside my head. Okay, pumpkin. I see it. Mama see you. Mama see you brought that toy. Look, I brought that toy, Mama. I brought that toy. Yes, you did. So, okay. So now, woohoo. Jesus Christ, got my head itching on this one. I might take one thing for this one. Okay, so according to you, when you were the divine feminine, when they were a child, they were saying, I'm just going through the motions. Okay. You was wondering, where was the help? She's saying, so are you going to help me? Okay. I'm in beast mode. So sometimes I feel like in some ways you were probably like you might be throwing some tantrums. Like my gosh, she's like a little terror, a little monster. Okay. You're probably saying you were in a lot of a mode of being a forgiveness. You were tired. I don't know, but I want you. I think in some ways you were looking at maybe your parents in some ways. This is what I'm picking up. It's like, some ways the way you're showing yourself. Uh, I don't want this, but I still want you. It's like, sometimes like you the only parent I got, so I just kind of got to deal with this, whatever this finances is, because we talk about inner child. This is. Or maybe also you talking to yourself as an inner child, as a child, and saying, "I don't know, but I want you." It's like I don't know what's all going on, but it's like the only thing I got to kind of cling on is to myself. It made you a lot of on the fence of things. You didn't know if you was coming and damn going. I'm stuck with. I'm stuck here with them. I'm stuck with these damn parents. Help me, Jesus. It's like I can't. I have a kid. Don't do this. There, come on. Hey, here we go again. Y'all really sending a lot of energy. I can tell. Here we go again. It do for a little while, and then we have to go through this again. Ah! Oh, body. Yeah, it froze. Yup, it froze again. Do, 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 do. How about this? I'll take you out of this. It do so long. I don't think it can go so long. You hear me though? Yeah. Okay, just keep talking. Okay, all right then. We really going back to radio. Maybe it'll come together. So it say I'm stuck here. So this is what I'm thinking is like, out of all the parents, I'm just stuck right here where I'm at. I'm on my own, but this is the way I want to be. Some kind of way some of you all felt that you had to kind of raise your own self as well. You're like, nope, this life ain't for me at all. Yeah, it's still going. I don't know why it's doing that. It might come back. Nope, this ain't for me. And I'm on my way. So whatever it is like if I can, I'm going to find a way to kind of get out of this situation. Okay? Wow. Okay, so now, that's all that good energy y'all did. Y'all sent this way. Okay, so the next one, let me see. Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Okay. It ain't that funny? Yeah, it's funny to say I'm stuck here with them. Dad, can you come and get come on, please, and get the iPad to working, please, for me? Because he's technology. Dad, can you fix this? Daddy, or wherever you are. No, I don't talk about you can't fix it. Yes, you can. Fix that. Okay. Knock on it. And I don't want to start over again. I might have to. And then, like, you might have to start over again. Because I do that, I'm going to lose some people. He wants to make it very clear. Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, yeah, okay. Anyway, I'm stuck on this. Yeah, I'm seeing. Well, okay, we got the point, Dad. And the angels and powers that be. Can y'all get it off of that? Okay, don't start again. Okay, all right then. Okay, so wars and battles. We're gonna do it just like shoot. I don't watch readers, and that's all you watch is daggone frozen screen. I'm like, what the heck? I'm talking to blackness. What the heck is this? Okay, so wars and battles. It's very funny. I'm looking at myself on this one. Okay, so okay. I don't know. Yeah, at least I don't know why it does that. We just a powerful group of something. I don't know what that is. Last pass. Okay, and it's showing everything else. Okay, it's bothering me. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna start again on another thing. It'll be a part 2. Okay, wonderful. It'll be a part 2. Hold on. Yeah, we gonna go. I'm gonna hit another one. Okay, so hang in there with me.